Because you
I mean, a
wouldn't
little
take
bit
the
like,
risk. You wouldn't
right.
take the risk. It's past your limitations. It's past your vision. You can't even see yourself doing it.
Right.
So how would you do it? And I think what even started all of that is I had a friend. I was in New York and I had a friend. She is Indian.
Right.
Indian Swedish. Right. She was born and raised in India in the slums. Then moved
In India?
and then moved to Sweden, which is one of the best economies in the world that we have, right? And was raised there to where she got to her doctorate and everything. And then she came to New York where I met her. And she told me that the poorest place in the world that she's ever been to is New York City.
Wow. Okay. Give me that perspective.
I've
been to Mumbai.
And I was just like, right, that's what I'm saying. And I was just like, what? And I was like, explain that. She was like, you gotta understand that the youth and the people that are in these slums don't know what they're missing. They don't know about the post that they didn't see or the game that they missed or the toy that they don't have. So they've not fallen into complacency, but they've fallen into content with how they live.
They've built a community that they're living in. Right.
All the love, all this, it's real time.
Back to the kid with no arm playing soccer in Indonesia.
Then you have a kid in New York City that's born and raised there that sees everything that he can ever possibly obtain, but will never be able to obtain it. That's poverty.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And when she told me that,
it's all in the 6 inches between you.
And that you can in New York City you can reach out for something, but you'll never be able to grab it. But in the slums, you not reaching. You have nothing to reach for. You what? I have everything I need right here. I'm content with life. And she's like, that's poverty. That's why I say that these people here are the poorest people in the world.
Okay, well, it's just about bending your mind and looking at it from a different perspective, right?
Easy said.
Easy said than done.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the closest thing I know is what my father used to tell me. He said, look, there's always going to be somebody prettier, smarter, more gifted, richer. I mean, whatever it is that you think you are, there's always somebody who's got more and is better, and you just need to learn to accept yourself for who you are in your own skin, which is a similar lesson, but I don't think it's the same. So, that's... I feel like I've walked away. I'm gonna walk away from here a lot richer than when I so thank you for that. Right?
Indeed.
Oh, this is great. This was one reason why I was glad that he came with me.
Yeah.
Because in this particular show, I think it'll give youth a chance to see a father and son.
Yeah.
First of all, together that's doing well.
Yeah.
Communicating. Loving each other, and it's just a different light, and I wanted to show that to the world, and I'm glad that he's a part of my life, and I'm glad that you're giving me this opportunity to.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, to say it.
It is awesome.
To be, and I'm proud to be from Rocky Mount. Well, I used to walk down Main Street and see there was a music store. And in the music store were records and album covers. There was only one black artist at the time on the album cover. His name was Harold Vick.
Okay.
When I got to New York, I played with a group called Cameo. That's what brought me to New York for 6 months, and I got fired. But it was a great lesson that I learned.
No, you were given an opportunity to pursue your own artistic opportunities and creation going forward.
I saw.
Right.
I fired so harsh.
Well, that day coming home from my construction job, there was a place called Pumpkins on Nostrand Avenue. And I heard this music coming out of Pumpkins. So I instantly turned my head around and looked, and this sign was Harold Vick was playing there that night. I walked inside and I said, I'm from Rocky Mount. Homeboy. Wow. Just like that.
Wow.
It was great. We had a great time. And over the years, we kept in contact with each other. He died. But it was just the fact that everywhere you go, we're there.
I mean, I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate you bringing. I'm calling him JG3. Okay, JG3.
Yeah.
Because I'm a father of 4,
Yes.
and that's really what I'm in the game for now. Because I mean, it is about creating opportunity for folks, right, and getting folks energetic and excited about it. So, I appreciate you thinking 5 steps ahead of me, and I normally pride myself in that. But but anyway,
I think the biggest thing for him, like for me at least, not just knowing him, is the fact that he was able to do all these things from a small town like this, with no Google, no social medias, none of that. You understand? And
Yeah.
like he was able to play with these bands and go to these places, and like he manifested all that subconsciously. You
Oh,
know?
Well, and I gotta say, I think a big part of your life has almost been divinely appointed,
Yeah, yeah.
right? I
True,
mean,
very true.
you know,
Very true.
you come from a very tight-knit group
Yeah,
of folks who loved you. I mean, even, you gotta tell a story. I mean, you show, when you go to college, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Even showing up for college
Yeah, yeah.
and how that just kind of works.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. The story goes like this, and I'm actually writing. I'm going to send you the book that I'm starting. Coming home from work, the telephone company used to be down by Parker.
Yep.
I used to be a janitor there.
Okay.
This was after I graduated from Booker T.
Okay.
So about 4 or 5 months after graduating, I'm walking home. This is on a Thursday. Walking home from work, and this car pulls up behind me, beeps his horn, and I turn around, and it's Miss Marguerite Armstrong, my old English teacher. So she summons me over to her car, and she says, "Hey, Gray, how you doing?" I says, "Hi." She says, "Where you going?" So I'm headed home. She says, "Where you coming from?" I said, "From work." She says, "You're not in school?" I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "You're not in college?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't think I'm going to go to college. I think I'm going to go to the Air Force." So she says, "Get in this car." Just like that. So this was my first time being in her Cadillac. I used to see her Cadillac drive by my house every day, you know. So I'm getting in the car. She says, tested me, she said, "Well, what do you mean you're not going to college?" I said, I don't think that's something that I can do. Even in high school, she pushed me to another level. She put me in advanced English class.
Right.
So we get to my house. My grandmother's sitting on the porch. We get outside. She introduces herself to her. My grandmother says, "I see your car pass by every day. I know who you are." So she says, "I want to put your son in school." Lord, child. Do whatever you can, you know.
Yeah.
So we have a conversation with her, and she takes me home with her that evening, and we wait for her husband to come in, Dr. Armstrong, and he comes in, and we meet, and then they go into another room. And they talk for about 15 minutes. He comes out with this envelope and tells me to get my mother or whoever to take me down to Fayetteville State College
Okay.
on Monday
Okay.
and to take some clothes with me. I said, okay.
Feels like a little bit more than an interview.
Yes, yes. So my mother and my father, who weren't in too good of a place, this is my first time ever actually seeing them together.
Interacting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, interacting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
like that. So I do remember the entire time of the trip, they didn't say a word to each other. I still remember seeing the back of their heads in the car. When we get there, my mother gets out and goes in with me. We meet the president of the college, and I hand him this envelope. He opens it up, reads it, he does this. He says, "Well, welcome to Fayetteville State." Just like that. He says, "We got a room for you over there in Vance Hall, and you start registration on Monday." I'm like, "What?" I mean, on Tuesday, because that was Monday. That was Monday.
Right.
Now, remember, Thursday I was a janitor.
Right.
Monday,
Yeah.
I'm in college.
You're a college kid.
Yeah, yeah.
And had you even contemplated that before?
No. Dude, I'm scared as heck.
I get it.
You know?
I get it. We can bleep that out.
Yeah,
later.
yeah. How can I, live up to this expectation that Miss Armstrong has of me and sees the possibilities of me that I don't see in myself.
Yeah.
So when I get there, there wasn't a music major the first semester. So I majored in economics. Second year, they got a music major. I changed my major to music.
Okay.
And was one of the first graduates of music at Fayetteville State. My grandmother was there to see me graduate. The lady who, when I used to come home from gigs at night, no matter what, had that potbelly stove going for me.
Right.
And wanted to know, how did the gig go? One night I came home from a gig. She said, "JoJo, what happened tonight?" I said, "Well, Grandma, I only made 50 cents. She said, "Well, JoJo, that's 50 cents more than you have when you left here." So she always kept me in perspective, in the right perspective.
Right.
But I made it through college, graduated. She was there to see me graduate, which was such a big deal because she was a big part of my life.
Yeah.
With the encouragement.
Yeah.
And me wanting to do well. And I remember calling home from time to time. My grandfather asked him, he says, "Boy, sure it's good to hear your voice." I said, "Yeah, you got $20 you can send me?"
Yeah.
You
It's good to hear yours too. Say yes. No, I know better.
Yeah, man. But those days were great. I mean, I'm so proud to have been the recipient of that gift.
You know, the other thing that really resonates
Yeah.
to me in hearing that story is the expectation that others put on you.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
pressure.
that is a driver of some sort. It does help move, get some momentum, and get you out of into a positive place.
I talked to her daughter, Mrs. Armstrong's daughter,
Right.
and she said before she died, she called me when my mother called me to tell me that Miss Armstrong had died. I just got the job at the Apollo, and I called her house, and Beverly answered the phone, and she said, I believe my mother loved you more than she loved us. I said, why'd you say? She said, because my mother has all of your pictures, your record that you had made, and all of the cards that you would send her. Because everywhere I would go, I would send her cards from overseas.
Right.
She said, right beside her bed.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So that meant a lot to me.
Well, she'd invested in you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a big deal too.
Yeah.
You know,
It's kind of like
knowing that
chills right
you're worth somebody investing in is a big deal, right?
Yeah, it is.
You know,
And I continue to grapple in my mind. What did she see? What made her do that with me?
does it matter?
Yeah.
She
Right,
did,
does
you
it?
know,
Yeah, does not matter.
and for whatever reason she saw it, whatever it is, and however you define it, and I'm still working on.
Yeah.
You can see it in people,
Right.
but it's really hard to define it.
Right,
You know,
right,
she just saw it
Right. She did. Yeah.
and was willing to invest in it, and
so
that's
glad she did.
and the world's a better place,
Yeah. No doubt.
right? So
I remember on stage at the Apollo, I summoned people up on stage to do this dance contest.
right.
So and
I can promise you'll never be summoned again.
Well, no, because
Unless you have a comedy hour.
No, because I retired now. So
Okay, all right.
So as
So you're not going to do a comeback, right?
So I introduced this lady. So says, "Where you from?" She says, "Rocky Mountain." I said, "What?" Then her name is Kay Vota, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, she's from Rocky Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just interesting. I've been there for 30 years.
Right.
Changed my life.
Sure.
Yeah, man.
I mean, what a great story that is too. I mean, did she even end up? How'd you end up there even to start with? I mean, I know you're working on sets.
Yeah.
but-
I ended up there. I told you I was with this group Cameo. The production manager from Cameo got a job there as production manager at the Apollo Theater.
Okay.
I knew him, and I told him if you ever need any help there, give me a call. So one day he called me. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Nothing right now." I was working on the job. I said, "Nothing right now." He said, "Well, would you come down to the theater?" So I did. That night it was Rick James playing.
Sure.
And he showed me around a little bit. So I said, "Well, that was it." He said, "Well, I'm thinking about doing some things." I said, "Well, I'm available if you need me." About 3 weeks later, he said, "What are you doing today?" I said, "I'm available." He said, "Well, come on down." They were doing Stevie Wonder. So I saw the choice.
I would have done it for just to watch the
Yeah,
talent. I mean,
yeah. So
I worked a day job just so that I could hang out.
So I came in and he showed me the stage and everything. I said, "Okay, so what am I going to do?" So he took me to the backstage door. He said, "You see those 3 tractor trailer trucks?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "You're going to take all that stuff, all those trucks." So for 3 months, I was a loader, a truck loader, so, which is the greatest gig in the world. Because I got to see the shows for free.
Right. I get it.
And it was very good. And then in the interim, I asked him. I said, how can I learn this? He said, "Well, you gotta come back and learn it." So he called me one day because there was somebody from Showtime that didn't show up. They gave me my opportunity.
Okay.
I took it then and was taught the skills that I know now, and I've been there for 30 years.
And then you became the Cal Ripken Jr.
Yeah,
You never gave anybody another
I never
opportunity,
gave-
right?
No,
Wouldn't you hate to be AAA behind Cal? I guess that's what we like would be behind you.
Yeah.
Regardless of the position that it was, like there was just nobody, and I probably feel like there still is nobody that can replace the role that he played. It wasn't just being a stage manager or like a head carpenter or whatever. Like it's like how he brought the people together on stage, and like we already know, the frustration that goes on with the entertainment business and behind the scenes and how the artists are really act. They come in, like that one time, Jim Dolan, right?
Sure.
Yeah, and Jim Dolan comes in and he tries to come in through the side with security, and my dad stops him in the alley, and he's like, "Yes, sir. Sorry, we have to, get you into the back of the stage, to, you know, sign you in. It's the protocol. Just everybody has to go through this. We work here. We got to go through it. And Jim Dolan stops. He's like, you know who I am? And he goes, yeah, the owner of a sad Knicks team. Now, go inside and
We
sign
need you here to tell the truth. You're just going to get all shuck stuff all right.
But the head security guard, like, I guess was supposed to stop that from happening and allowed it. And when Jim turns around, he goes like, I've been trying to tell you. That's just what he does. And he tells me, like, I have, like, my challenge every day is to put a smile on somebody's face.
Sure.
Regardless of what they go
Daggone, you both done it for me today. So thank you for that. Yeah, that's been awesome.
Yeah, man.